Hey there friends, super short video for you guys today. I'm working on a lot of detail on this next story that I'm gonna put out tomorrow, but I wanted to give you kind of a preface of what I'm looking at, and it certainly wouldn't hurt for everybody to kind of start looking into these types of things. I'm referring to the Afghani guy that they busted over in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This guy was busted with plans to blow stuff up with a homemade bomb that he was working on. And yes, he was working on building that bomb. Don't know at this point, I don't have all the details, but I know that he was working on the bomb. Don't know if it was fully assembled yet, but he did have intentions of blowing it up in the Dallas area. I don't want to panic anybody because I do feel like we can't stop living our lives because of what these nutbags with these wicked, evil ideologies have that come over here and want to disrupt our American way of life. I don't want us to stop living our life, but we certainly cannot ignore what these people do. These people have no intention of assimilating over here. These people intend on changing our way of life to fit their way of life. I said it in the video yesterday that they tend to act like they're assimilating and blend in at first when they come over here. Then whenever they get majority numbers like you see in Minneapolis and Dearborn, then they start running their mouths and get a little mouthy and start talking about implementing Sharia in their areas. If you don't know anything about Sharia law, I implore you to please do some research on it. It is not innocent. Nothing about Islam is innocent. Everything that these people do is a long-term plan. And it's part of a plan. None of what they do is spontaneous. It's all planned out, and it is all what they intend to do to get to their end game, which is total domination. And I mean total domination. I don't mean putting a new mosque up on every corner. I mean crushing the churches and doing away with them. The best way I can explain it, if a Baptist person or a Baptist group has a church and a Catholic group has a church, they don't want to destroy each other's church. Would they like to pull some members? Yeah, they'd love to pull some members. Be their churches to be the bigger church. Let's be honest, it's about money too, right? The more members you have in your church congregation, the more money you make. That's not what Islam wants to do. Islam wants to not only build their mosque across the street from your church, their goal is to destroy your church and crush it. In fact, one of the things that they pride themselves most on is not just doing away with your church, but building their mosque on the church grounds and taking over your church. You know, the reason why you don't see mosques everywhere in England right now is because England, and this is very strange, in fact, this will probably be changed soon. You would see nothing but mosques in England right now because they have taken over, especially London more specifically. You would see nothing but mosques, but they have this weird little rule, and I guess it's like a code, but you can't destroy churches. Well, they do this in every other part of the world, but in England, or more specifically again, London, they can't do away with the church. So they build their mosque within the church. So it looks like a church, and it looks like, oh, a lot of people are going to this church. They're not. It's a mosque. It just looks like a church on the outside because of the code they have where you cannot destroy the outside appearance of the actual church. So it's really a mosque inside a church. Well, over here in the States, we don't have such a code. So you're going to start seeing this pop up more and more and more. And again, it is leading to total domination. That is important that we not be naive and stupid about what their end game is. Working on the story for tomorrow, guys, and I'm not also feeling a little bit under the weather right now as well. As you can tell, my head's a little, I don't know if it's allergies or what it is, but it's no sleep and just not feeling great. But this is a story that I started working on when it popped up that this guy had built a bomb in the Dallas area. Remember the epic city that they were wanting to build in the Dallas area, outskirts of Dallas, and Governor Abbott has put an end to that. And it was going to be a very, very racist, bigoted area that was going to try to implement their own form of Sharia. Now, to be clear, the U.S. Constitution does not allow for another form of law to exist anywhere in this country. So there's going to be, at some point, a court-related issue whenever Sharia is trying to be implemented within the confines of the Constitution and the existing law that we already have. They cannot coexist. And Sharia doesn't expect to coexist. They want to take over and only implement Sharia. But again, thankfully, our Constitution is written such that Sharia cannot exist within the borders of America. Guys, this is a big thing that's been building up. These people are very, very patient. You're finally starting to see these people and what their intent is, because they're popping off now, and you're starting to see more and more of that. It ain't going away, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow. Hopefully I have more detail where I can put out a full detailed video on that, but it's interesting, like ridiculously interesting, but it's super scary, guys, just knowing what you're dealing with. And that's probably the biggest thing. We have to educate people to understand what we're up against. Again, this ain't a Baptist versus Catholic thing. These people expect full-blown domination, and there are three choices that you have when it comes to Islam. It's to convert, it's to pay a jizya, which is basically a mafia protection tax, is what it essentially is, or lose your head. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that. Those are your three options when it comes to Islam once they gain power. Think I'm wrong? Look it up. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget, guys, if you're looking for a book to educate yourself and to educate the idiots out there who can't think for themselves regarding mass shootings, go to damnliars.net. Again, damnliars.net, and get my brand new book, Damn Liars.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
It's hanging around.